there's a lot going on in the world that and like all we've been able to do is talk about WrestleMania, and there's a lot of other things going on, so that was good. But to lead into SmackDown, I was going to at least get into the high points of SmackDown and Raw from this past week, just because there was some cool things. The least big surprise, but what everybody knew was going to come, but was still fun, was Aleister Black returning on television. And the moment you saw Miz out there in the white suit, like, it's funny, I was cooking when that happened. I just stopped for a moment. I'm like, no, I'm going to watch this because this is clearly going to be Aleister Black come out and, dude, he has his old music, his old entrance, I love how he still sells the eye thing. Like, yeah, no, I one of the other things I want to talk about as we get to Raw is Karrion Kross, and where hopefully his gimmick is very leading to. Maybe they can kind of get away from the spooky side of Kross and more of just that he's messing with people's minds because he's, a sociopath or something, and he's more that kind of guy. And I keep calling him Malachi. Let Aleister do the spooky stuff. Leave the spooky stuff to him and the Wyatt Six, and hopefully that could help Kross take off. But I just thought it was fun to see him come back, even though we all knew it was coming. You saw the vignettes that said 425, but there was that clip that went around of where his those vignettes were airing when Selena Vega was in the ring and she was pointing at it, and you couldn't take the smile off of her face with $1 million. So that was cool to see, and
yeah,
that's always good.
She was winning the women's championship.
But no, it was the week. It was the show before that. It was the one before.
Was coming.
Ah, well, all right. I think it was more because her husband was coming back to work. But either way,
they went hand in hand, didn't they?
It's Well, that's a good point. That is a good point. That is a good point. Speaking of that, I really do think this will be fun with Chelsea Green now being, she did being the champ for almost 5 months of gloating with it, and now she can go back and chase for it. I think that'll be fun. Like, she'll make it work is the bottom line. She's I always call her the queen of minute maximization. There's nobody who maximizes their minutes more than Chelsea Green.
She's fun to watch.
She is, like, she's just a great if you look at her when she's come back ever since, that was like her most recent return, she was willing to come back at the Rumble and, get kicked out and pull a Santino. Like, that's somebody who friggin' gets it. Like, I can work with this. We can make this fun. I can sell this. I thought that was great. So
yeah, not bad on the eyes either.
No, not at all. And she understands that as well. And smart woman. That is a very, very smart lady. And she's married to Matt Cardona, which is great. What's up?
Ever since Mickie James mentioned the wardrobe for the ladies, have you noticed the shorts getting shorter?
Yes.
Holy sugar beans.
Yeah, I don't think that line lasted so well.
Dude,
I would say
I'm watching the other day, and Rhea's out there, and I'm like, her shorts got shorter. Liv comes out, her shorts got shorter. Stephanie Becker comes out, and I'm like, holy crap, half her ass is hanging out. I'm like, what just happened? It's subtle.
So my response to that is,
yeah, what is your response to that?
Thank you, Mickey. So glad my wife's not home right now. Hello. No, I did. It was funny because I didn't really notice it till last week. But then I thought about it because even remember when EO came out with, like, was it the contract signing before Mania? Where I feel like even everybody, we were listening with Phil, everyone was like, whoa, yo, like
it was right after she said something.
I feel like that was literally like the next night. Like she said it on LFG on Sunday, and EO was like, kiss my, hey. They empower themselves. They want to do it. Like, obviously we have no problem with it. I'm also not going to hoot and holler at them or try to grab it either. So, there's that line. I feel like back in Mickey's day, that would have happened a hell of a lot more. It probably did. So
sex appeal is fine.
Yeah, no, and the ladies use it, and they make it fun. And Vaquer, it's part of her gimmick. I mean, that's with Booker T and the Devil's Kiss move. Like, it all works. It all makes sense.
How much you going to drop to get in that move?
Yeah.
No, I want to know how much.
I mean,
a couple hundred.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, like, what's the?
Yeah, you didn't think this podcast would go this way, did you?
No, I didn't. But I don't really have an answer because I'm like, I mean, what financially, I'm not. I mean, I could try. Yeah, no, she's. I mean, of everybody on NXT, like she is not only like the most talented, but there's a reason why she is literally being skyrocketed to the top. She's from Chile, and she is a spicy hot woman. So
for our next little bonus clip, I want to go through with you, and I want to go through the women's roster.
All right. I mean, well, I'll find more PG pictures here once we can monetize, and if we have enough people who want to do a Patreon, we can do more cheeky pics on a Patreon or something. That's why I kept the picture where it was there, because I'm like, I'm not gonna pop in any of those and get a flag.
No, I don't mean. I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Was just a joke, and to sell the idea of, hey, one day maybe we will do a Patreon. It's one of those ideas. Yeah. But I was gonna say, back to things that work and did work, I thought was fun, which was what SmackDown led off with was Cena and Orton with their little promo battle, setting up for sure what we all knew was gonna come the moment they announced Backlash was in Randy Orton's hometown, was Orton versus Cena at Backlash, and yay, I'm excited for that. But I at least wanted to mention.
When is it?
End of May. Let's take a look. This is why I keep Google up on the other screen. Backlash 2025. Let's take a look.
Tell people your secrets.
Yeah, well, hey, again, you're professionally unprofessional. I don't think about those things. I'm just excited. Hey, I just said May. Oh shit, May 10th. So like not this Sunday, but next Sunday?
Yes, that's why I said it, because I knew the answer.
Whoa, I definitely was gonna think like the Sunday after that. All right, we will have to probably do an early Sunday night Spaces that night on the 10th. Okay, good to know. Because I'm sure like Phil will want to go live for it. Or it's Saturday, May 10th. My bad. No, it didn't say Saturday. My bad. All right. Well, even still, good to know. Wow, was not. Damn. I definitely thought it was the next Saturday. What would that have been, like the 17th? That's what I was thinking. But aren't they? I guess they are doing aren't they doing an SNME at the end of May?
25th, I think.
Like whatever that Saturday, the Saturday before Memorial Day, which makes total sense. Yeah, hey, good for them. All right, no. Shoot. Okay. I definitely didn't realize it was that soon. But again, that's one of the reasons why you have these two as the match, though. Like you don't have to. There's built-in storyline. There's a lot of it. So plus, like they had to work together. I mean, like that was like when Edge came back, right? Randy and Edge, like, they got right back into it. So
yeah, this is the product of WrestleMania being 2 weeks later than normal. So
yeah, no, it is true. It definitely
Backlash comes up quick.
Yeah, I am hoping they learn from it and switch it up a bit next year. Like keep the Royal Rumble should always be the weekend in between the NFL Conference Championship games and the Super Bowl. That's fine. But just build to Elimination Chamber a bit more. You know what I mean? Like instead of having it, because they did it like it was February 1st and March 1st. Like if they'd have had that, I don't know, March 8th or even like that next Saturday, like the 15th, that probably would have worked better, but is what it is. It's fine. They'll learn is my point to that. But Speaking of things that people said should have been on WrestleMania, and I even said from the beginning, the reason it's not on Mania is because you've got to always be looking and moving forward, but this is going to give them that time to shine. I didn't realize they were going to do it commercial free, which I feel like the moment those guys heard that, they decided, F this, we're doing it. And that was the triple threat TLC match main event on SmackDown. That was amazing. And I just heard like 2 minutes before we connected, before we jumped on air, that Dave Meltzer gave it 5 stars. So I thought that was funny. I mean, sure, whatever you want to say for it. Like this was awesome. There wasn't, for a TLC match, I'm not the biggest fan of the crazy matches where people can almost kill themselves, but I'm not going to not enjoy it for what it was. And I mean, I took this picture first because I wanted to show, where the ladder was. And then you got to immediately jump to this one here of, oh God, the tribute to Edge, which funny enough that they dropped the WWE is dropping their Edge trademark as of this month. So if he wants to go back, get changed from Cope back to Edge,
that'd be interesting.
I feel like that was like, they don't really care, but it's really funny that Edge made all that effort to change it to Cope and set it to merch and get all the people to make fun of him and like, yeah, you can just have it back. It's fine. Made me laugh.
Yeah, Dave's been really gracious to WWE. I heard his star ratings for the WrestleMania, and there were a lot.
Yeah, there was a couple I was a little different on, but for the most
part, he rated him higher than we did.
I was gonna say, I thought there was a couple. I was like, shit, he was nicer than we were, But hey, that's fine,
Good for him.
I mean,
we don't say many nice things about him, so good for him.
We don't, and that's that's the thing, and that's. I wish there was more of that, where people call things more down the middle with it. People kind of ride their sides. And obviously we are more WWE fans than AEW. But if you listen to our criticism, it's more of a frustration. We're not mad. We're just disappointed and frustrated. We want it to be better. We just gave you ideas of how it could be better. And I promise you, if there was any of that done, it would be. Even if they did it, still book your indie guys and do the matches that I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't have to be the biggest fan of the match. If you're telling me a fun story and getting me interested, I will enjoy it. I will let myself enjoy it, even if it's not my thing, Also, just sell a little bit more in the ring. That's all. But that was SmackDown. I didn't really think we had too much to dive into it, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good kind of way to kick out. I look at it as WrestleMania is like WWE's fiscal year. This is this is week 1 of 52, and they'll move to Mania next year, and this is a good way to set it off.